James. Another short one. Yeah, it's 6 chapters, 6 chapters. 5 chapters. I think I've done this one before. Okay, where are we? The letter of James. James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ. To the 12 tribes in the dispersion, greetings. They have been dispersed. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. That you may be perfect. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given him. Let's try that again. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given him. You ever wonder how sometimes you go through your day just not knowing what's going to happen? My God, all this stuff going on. It could be this, it could be that, blah, blah, blah. It says here we have someone we can take counsel with. But let him ask in faith. Oh, with no doubting. Ooh. For the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea that is driven and tossed by the wind. For that person must not suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. So if you lack wisdom, you should ask God with no doubting. That's not easy, but it says here we can do it. Let the lowly brother boast in his exaltation, and the rich in his humiliation, because like a flower of the grass he will pass away. For the sun rises with its scorching heat and withers the grass, its flower falls, and its beauty perishes. So also will the rich man fade away in the midst of his pursuits. Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial. For when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him. It goes back to Ephesians 6. Standing. Let no one say when he is tempted, I am being tempted by God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, and he himself tempts no one. But each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. Thoughts. Then desire, when it has conceived, gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is fully grown, brings forth death. Do not be deceived, my beloved brothers. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow due to change. Of his own will he brought us forth by the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. Know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger, for the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God. Therefore put away all filthiness and rampant wickedness, and receive with meekness the implanted word, these words, which is able to save your souls. But be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. For if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man who looks intently at his natural face in a mirror. For he looks at himself and goes away, and at once he forgets what he was like. I never understood that one. But the one who looks into the perfect law, the law of liberty, and perseveres, being no hearer who forgets, but a doer who acts, he will be blessed in his doing. If anyone thinks he is religious and does not bridle his tongue, but deceives his heart, this person's religion is worthless. Bridling your tongue, it's not just, okay, I'm not going to cuss anymore, this kind of thing. But we really have to watch everything that we say, because the Bible tells us we will be judged by every word. If you're looking at it from judicious scales, at some point, whether the good we did or the bad we did or whatever, those words will either make us or break us. But the sooner you realize that, you can be forgiven. Religion that is pure and undefiled before God the Father is this: to visit orphans and widows in their affliction, and to keep oneself unstained from the world. So sometimes I bring something up about how we don't, whether it's hitting back or, take vengeance and this kind of stuff. And the world draws us into to do things that the world does, things that the world says, no, this is how we do it here. And if you're going to follow the teachings of Jesus, you're going to find out that some of these things that might be very just in this world, in this reality, some behaviors that we have, someone does me, well, I'm going to do them back, or whatever the case is, does not follow the teachings of Jesus. And when you fall into that, you fall into this trap right here, to keep oneself unstained from the world. You're taking on the stink of the world when you do that. We can't do that. And there's many verses here in the Bible that tell you, how the world does a thing certain ways, we are to do them another. There's a lot of things that, and there shows a lot of things that Christians do. Those that are paying attention are like, Jesus says this thing, but I'm doing this thing. This in our world seems to be okay. It's the world. You have to be careful of that. That's James 1. Love you. God bless.